I think it would like implode there's just not enough space.
It's sort of like a double-edged sword sometimes.
It's like it can feel sort of sometimes like you're cheating.
From 02 to like 08, it was kind of like that a little bit.
I think we've always been pretty big on that in a really healthy way, like everyone having other projects to work on. I feel like, to me, one of the things I think is really cool about it is it takes pressure off of ALO to be everybody's everything. Because back in the older times, we didn't have other projects, and it would be like weird because like I might have some weird jazzy thing I was into that maybe you guys didn't want to do, and then I would be all, you know, like, oh, I'm not getting to express myself.
Yeah, from 02 to like 08, it was kind of like that a little bit.
Yeah,
07, it's kind of like, okay, all my creative ideas have to be funneled through ALO.
So we're all trying to put everything into ALO,
a little bit creatively.
Yeah, but so I think it's been rad ever since people, do other things. Then it's like ALO can be what ALO is.
Totally.
And then, if that doesn't fit, cool, I'll do it with someone else,
It's sort of like a double-edged sword sometimes because like it does sort of relieve that sort of those like personal creative things. You can go out and play with other musicians and do your own thing, make a record or whatever, and the pressure is sort of relieved so that ALO doesn't have to be everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like the scheduling and like the logistical coordination of like having multiple bands really kind of, it can also sort of impede the momentum of ALO. But I think in the long run or the big picture, I think it's good. It's hard to tell.
It's hard to know when you're frustrated by scheduling. You're like, this side projects have to stop. But then when you're frustrated by ALO, you're like, I need to do a side project.
I really don't think we would still be together if no one did side projects. So. I think it would like implode there's just not enough space for everybody's ideas.
It'd be interesting someday to explore side projects as a band, like have the band as a side project or two.
Yeah, a different face.
We become a different band or, back up with just one guy of the band or something like that.
There's always been that. I mean, we've always had the like, let's back up, like whether we were backing up Jack in college or backing up Tara Van Devender in Georgia, or there was always like, we always were like Reed Fail, we were always like, let's back up somebody else. It always felt like we wanted to have like a fifth member kind of do their thing.
I think we still need to make that album.
Yeah.
Like the album where like,
Friends.
Friends, we just back up all our friend singers, songwriters. It'd be awesome.
Shouldn't be too hard.
What have you learned from, I feel like Steve, you maybe you've had the most side projects.
Yeah, you have all sorts, a lot of.
From the mandolin orchestra to the Gramblers.
A Tree Called Simon.
Wow. Even back in the day.
What's that?
That was his high school band.
With Trevor and Pete Binkley.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember in high school when, Zach, you joined Paragon.
Oh, yeah.
Paragon.
The older guys.
And you were just the lead singer. You didn't play.
I played keyboards.
You played keyboards, that's right.
Rhythm guitar.
But we were sophomores and the senior, something like that. The seniors like recruited Zach up to the majors,
I called him up.
Then they booted me at that.
And I think that's when I called.
They got Rob Cancelleri.
When I joined Tree Called Simon, I think because of that maybe.
No. You're off by like that was like my freshman year. Tree Called Simon was when you were a senior.
Okay, yeah. That's right, because they were younger.
Yeah.
That actually is that, because I remember that band Uncle Funkle was totally like that. It was a rad. I remember for me that was fun because we had our band together. It was more like, doing songs, like we were like doing our originals and covering Journey and stuff. And then Uncle Funkle was just like a power trio, and we would like just jam and get like crazy. It was kind of like a little punky and a little like Black Sabbath-y at times. Yeah, it was just, I remember even at that time, it kind of serves the same way as a lot of these side projects. It was just a place to like go crazy on guitar.
You really do. The thing that, as much as like it does take away from ALO schedule-wise, the side projects are infinitely, like, you learn so much when you play with other great musicians, you know?
And then you bring it back
and then you
too.
do, and it's like, it can feel sort of sometimes like you're cheating, but it's not like that with music. I really feel like the more you play with other people, just the better the whole thing gets, you know?
It can feel like the relationship, like cheating on a relationship.
Yeah, and it feels like,
I don't
it's
think
not, but it's like, it's hard to get out of that mentality sometimes because there's so much sacrifice involved in a band, you know, that it's like
an open relationship.
Yeah, it's like so-and-so's, you know, jamming
Honest.
Steve's jamming with those guys, and like, what are they doing? It sounds like fun. I wonder what.
You can play keyboards with them, but don't write any songs for them. That's the.
I mean,
no more secret songs.
I get kind of like, I do definitely like, we all do it at different times, but I've definitely been like dipping in lots of different bands, and it's definitely like you're in demand by a lot of different people, and you're inevitably gonna let some people down, you know, which is like
Can't say yes to everything.
That's when the soul is split.
At a certain point, you just can't say yes. Yeah.
Your relationships become so vast that your purpose becomes, you know.
For you, it always seems pretty clear though. Like I feel like yours is pretty clear. It's like if ALO has something that just comes first.
I've definitely made it clear what my priorities are, but
like it's never really come up before.
But I'm still like, I know I'm letting down, you know, Big Light or whatever. Like
rehearsal the other
I guess rehearsals.
Yeah,
I'm more just thinking like gigs or studio time or something.
I mean, if he has a gig, you know, and you have to. A commitment's a commitment.
Yeah,
you know.
It's nice when I like the side project where there's like a sub option.
Right.
So they're not like just sitting around waiting for you to be ready. Yeah. They can like get somebody else and make their thing happen with or without you. But I love being part of those things, especially when my schedule's more open.
Right.
But I also miss being home. I mean, probably like everybody.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
It's nice to be home.